Mom's call came at 9:14 p.m. Too sharp, too rehearsed to be concern. Her voice trembled with an anger she hadn't bothered to hide. "Where are you?" The question sounded simple, almost innocent, but I heard what sat beneath it: panic. I stepped outside into the cold, letting the wind bite the last warmth from my hands. Winter always had a way of telling the truth. I looked at the Christmas lights hanging limp across my porch. They flickered once, weak, unsure, like they knew something I wasn't supposed to hear. But I had heard it, hours earlier, through a thin hallway door. My name whispered behind a half-closed vent. My sister's laugh, sharp as broken glass. My brother's voice, steady, cruel. And Mom, orchestrating each detail with the calm precision of someone who'd done this before. "Let him show up," she said. "We'll make sure he remembers his place." Their plan wasn't loud, not theatrical, but surgical. A small humiliation, a public reminder that I was the family's weakest link, the one they could parade around as a cautionary tale. I didn't move as Mom kept breathing heavily through the phone. "Where are you?" she repeated. I felt my lips curl, not in a smile, but something colder. I whispered, "Did you enjoy my gift?" The silence that followed wasn't silence at all. It was the sound of something unraveling. The truth had been creeping toward me for months, small things at first. The way conversations stopped when I walked into a room. The sudden pity in their eyes, quickly masked as politeness. The inside jokes I didn't understand because they weren't meant for me. Then Christmas came, and with it, expectation. "Come early," Mom had said. "We want to celebrate you this year." Celebrate? The word felt like a trap even then. But I still went. I still believed, stupidly, that maybe this time would be different. Maybe they had remembered I was family. Then I reached the hallway, heard my name. Not lovingly, not fondly. "With everyone here, he won't know what hit him," my brother said. And after that, my sister whispered, "He won't show his face again." Mom sighed with a kind of satisfaction I'd never heard before. "It's for his own good." That line sliced deeper than the rest. Their betrayal wasn't sudden. It wasn't an explosion. It was a quiet, deliberate carving away of trust, one thin layer at a time. And I stood there, frozen, listening to the people who raised me plan a psychological ambush like it was a holiday game. My initial reaction wasn't anger, not even sadness. It was emptiness, a hollow cavity where something warm used to be. I left the house before anyone saw me, snow falling hard, my breath shaking. Shock curled around me like smoke. They hadn't just betrayed me, they'd enjoyed it. I didn't confront them, not then, not ever directly. People reveal more when they think you're blind. So I watched, quietly, from the edges where they thought I belonged. I checked group chats, found conversations they forgot to delete, snide jokes, little clans, screenshots passed around like party favors. I replayed voicemails, listened to the tone beneath the words. Even Dad, distant, careful, had left a message saying, "Try to keep it together this year. Don't make things difficult." As if I was the problem. As if their cruelty needed my cooperation. The final confirmation came when I accessed the family email thread they assumed I didn't know about. The subject line was simple: "Christmas night, final details." They had an itinerary, a schedule for my humiliation, even a backup plan. Every line tightened the knot inside me until something in me finally went silent. When you stop expecting love, clarity arrives. So I prepared my own version of the holiday. Not violent, not chaotic, just honest. I gathered every message, every plan, every cruel word they'd tossed around like confetti, and I wrapped it, digitally, neatly, into a single shared folder. Then I scheduled it to send to the entire extended family at precisely 8:37 p.m. during dinner, right before they would announce their surprise for me. I imagined the moment, the shift, the panic pulsing through them when they realized the roles had reversed. It wasn't revenge, not really. It was a correction, a rebalancing. I didn't need to raise my voice or break anything. All I needed was truth, delivered at the perfect surgical moment. The email went out exactly when I planned. The reactions came minutes later. Buzzing phones, frantic calls, messages with my name in all caps. I didn't answer. I waited. Then Mom called. Her voice wasn't angry anymore. It was afraid. "What did you do?" she whispered. I could hear people arguing in the background, my brother shouting, my sister crying, a chair scraping violently across the floor. I pictured their faces when they realized the entire family now knew the truth, that their golden children had spent weeks plotting to break the one person who had never fought back. Mom tried to regain her composure. "We can talk about this. Just come home." Home. Interesting word. I imagined handing her the printouts, asking her a question she couldn't lie her way out of. Why? But I didn't. I didn't go anywhere. I stayed outside in the cold, letting the night sharpen me. Mom's voice cracked. "You ruined Christmas." I finally exhaled, slow, controlled. "No," I said. "I exposed it." She sucked in a breath, stunned, wounded, as if the truth had struck her harder than their betrayal ever struck me. For the first time in my life, she had nothing left to say. I didn't return. I didn't apologize. I didn't explain. I sent one final message, calm, precise. I won't attend celebrations where I'm the sacrifice. Then I muted the chat. Not blocked, muted. Silence can be louder than any goodbye. They kept calling, kept pleading, kept justifying every word they'd said behind that hallway door. But I stayed detached, observing, letting them scramble, letting them feel the weight of a truth they crafted themselves. By midnight, their perfect holiday had collapsed. Guests leaving early, whispers spreading, all eyes turning toward the people who wore kindness like a costume. Meanwhile, I sat alone in my apartment, lights off, phone glowing like a final ember. The last message came from my sister. "Please, just come talk to us. We didn't mean it." A soft lie, a desperate reach. I wrote only 3 words. "I heard everything." She didn't reply. The next morning felt different. Not lighter, not warmer, just quieter. The kind of quiet that follows a storm when you realize the wreckage isn't yours to fix. I made coffee, opened the window, let the winter air cut straight through the apartment. It felt clean. For years I'd waited for them to see me, for them to treat me like I belonged. But people don't change because you suffer quietly in the corner. They change when the truth pulls the mask off their face, publicly, undeniably. And last night, that mask shattered. I didn't regret it, not for a heartbeat. They taught me how to disappear, how to swallow pain, how to stay small. But I learned something they never expected. Silence is a weapon, and I finally used it. Christmas will go on without me, so will they. But they'll remember this year, the year the quiet one stopped being quiet. The year the truth arrived wrapped like a gift. The year I walked away without looking back. My final thought drifted out into the cold morning air. I didn't lose a family. I simply stepped out of the role they wrote for me. And for the first time in my life, I felt nothing.